Hello, everyone. This is Paula Guthrie from Creating Purpose with Pau, and I welcome you to the Spanglish World Network and Heart Network on Single TV channels 250 and 251. Please remember to download Single TV app on the respective app store. The app is totally free, and you can find this Zingo TV app in Google Chromecast and Amazon Fire TV Stick, Roku Stick, and all smart TVs from 2016 and forward. Welcome, everyone. Today I have an amazing guest. He is Chuck Hogan, and I appreciate you being here to save the day. He is an amazing mentor, coach, and he is the creator of Your Best Life. And I welcome you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Viola. It's wonderful to see you, my friend.
So please let's dive into what you do, so that our beautiful audience gets to know what you do. I share your website on the promo, so please share a little bit of what you do so that they understand it.
Sure. So, your best life, it's a really simple concept, and that is you deserve to live your best life. We found that a lot of folks, especially through COVID, were starting to survive life. They were disconnected. They weren't growing together. And so we're like going, okay, where do people need really a ton of support? We said, well, they need it in their businesses because that's their livelihood. But the truth is, most people's focus goes towards their business. Then the second part is that most people's focus secondarily goes to their children and sometimes their spouse, but not always. And we started to realize that there was a lot of stress and strife for some folks. And we said, well, what if we could actually take 4 pillars: faith, family, fitness, and finance, and in that order? Why? Well, when our faith is strong and our relationships are strong and our fitness and our health, because trying to do all these things and being in low health, because health is wealth, number one. And lastly, then working on the business. Why? Because when we are happy, your business is a subset of your universe. So literally your best life is about that. It's about community. It's not a mastermind. I'm not a coach. I'm a strategist. And what I love about that is, after having built businesses and exited businesses, having helped tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people by now, after 22 years with Tony Robbins and traveling the world as a trainer, but more so as a husband and a father, I really started to find that we're all built the same and that there's really not that much differentiating us. The challenge becomes, are we living in our head or in our heart? So we actually bring people in and create standard operating procedures and KPIs that are measurable, but not just in one facet of your life, in faith, family, fitness, finance, and also fun and fantasy. So you get to enjoy this journey, because you don't have to spend the first half of your life making money to spend all the money to get back happiness, time, health, and memories. So in a nutshell, that's what YBL is about.
That is beautiful. And it sounds like the perfect recipe, because those are like the 4 fundamental pillars that when we invest, when we develop those right habits, then we're really, really living life. The art, like living is an art.
Yes, and there's a science to success. There's an art to fulfillment. And unfortunately, these aren't things that we're taught in school. And most of our values are inherited. So it's like, wait a second, where did all this come from? Going, well, mom and dad were hard workers, and I was a latchkey kid. I'm going, what? Yeah, I had the key to the house. I would let myself in after school. And it's like going, wait, was that true or not true? I go, well, no, mom was home because my mom was a stay-at-home mom, but she was busy too. The reason why I go here is your reality is your perception. And for many of us, we think, oh, times are good and the tide is rising. And I go, well, a rising tide may raise all your ships in all those modalities, all those pillars. Here's the challenge. If one of them is anchored and they're all tied together, you can actually sink all your ships. And so this is where we say, let's place emphasis on the things that we need and not chase all the things we want.
Yes.
And that's a big hiccup, because for some of us, Paola, myself included in the past, I was ignoring my needs and chasing wants. Why? Bigger house, better cars, different clothing, higher quality food. And I go, well, some of these things are a necessity though. And I can tell you now with inflation and everything, good food's expensive. I'm not saying beluga caviar. I'm saying high quality food is expensive. Clean water is, make sure you're drinking, expensive. This is more expensive than gasoline. When you think about it, what you pay for a bottle of water in the store, $4 for this,
Yeah.
and you're paying $4 for a gallon of fuel that's like this, you're like going, wait a second, this to this?
Yeah.
How can that be? But what's more important? This runs you, the fuel runs your car. I'll take this first.
Yeah.
So, but thank you for asking. That's so kind of you. This for me is a labor of love. We just got back from Santa Fe, New Mexico, or excuse me, Sedona, Arizona. Santa Fe was last year at our faith trip. Oh my gosh, this was mind altering. I mean, like mind altering. By doing breathing techniques, you can put yourself in an altered state that is equal to or greater than being in ayahuasca.
Wow.
Which is plant medicine. And I'm like going, I'm not real good with taking medicine.
Yeah.
But if I can breathe and get my body into that state, woo. In fact, I'll be doing that later tonight for an hour in the dark.
Oh, wow. So that, I mean, it's first of all, first thing I think is like, it oxygenates your body.
It
Then,
increases oxygen. It increases nitric oxide in your body.
okay.
It literally hyperinflates your cells so that all the nutrients are flowing to your body, because most of us breathe shallow during the course of a day. We don't breathe full diaphragmatic breathing. The other part is that we don't allow our minds to wander. Most people are trying to maintain control of their mind instead of going from the bottom, what we call bottom up, which is from your toes to your basically right underneath your neck. It's interesting how people forget that there's this thing called a neck that actually connects your head to your body. And when we allow that energy to come all the way up, it actually comes out the crown chakra and releases energy. And it's amazing because now you're connected with the divine, God, universe, if you want to call it energy. And it's really a brilliant exercise that can be done very easily. So part of this is, where does your focus go so your energy can flow? Because to your point, if your reticular activating system is always steered towards things that you're trying to avoid, you're going to get more of what you're trying to avoid. However, if we turn our reticular activating system, our RAS, to all the things that we need in our life, what tends to go away is all the things we don't need and all the things that we're trying to have in abeyance or avoidance. And I go, what a beautiful virtue to have when your mind and your body and your heart are encompassed and you're living in a state where you refuse to be petty or shallow or judgmental.
Something to think about.
Very much so.
Yeah, because it's like, if we're thinking, everything is so expensive, everything's getting so expensive, that's the world we're going to experience, right? That, what's going to happen, versus turning around and changing. Okay, what do I need to do to improve my marriage? What do I need to do to keep this, beautiful kids going with a good attitude, being respectful, and so on. So
that was actually beautiful what you just said. And I'll remind us, what is it going to take this marriage going? And I go, well, what if I just enjoyed my marriage even more? What if I could love and appreciate even more the connection that I already have? See, here's the crazy part about the human condition. There's so many of us that are thinking that we need to search for better. And I go, ooh, ouch. They're like, what? What'd I say? I said, well, how do you know something's better? And I go, the only way you can know it's better or think it's better is if you actually compare it to where you are now. And if you think it's better, that means that what you have now isn't good enough. So you're not living in love and appreciation and gratitude at that moment. You're living in judgment. And I go, ruh-roh. That's so someone said, okay, smarty, then what would you look for? And I said, different. When you see something different, and you go, but Chuck, come on, really? Like a burrito is a burrito is a burrito. I said, oh no, it's not. I've had burritos. Like you're like, oh, and then I've had a burrito. And they go, well, what was the difference? I said, it was different. It was cooked a little different. What was inside it was different. The care that was taken was different. The salsa was different. The cheese, I'm getting hungry now, sorry. But it was amazing. And they go, oh, but that's not better. I said, no, it was so different. It put it in a whole nother classification. It was amazing. And they go, so what's your new standard? And I said, I don't know if it's a standard because I don't even know if I could do that. I'm going to eat here again, though, because it was so good and so different. And here's the cool part about different. It motivates you because it's the 2 or 3 millimeter shift that you're looking for that over time grows into something magnanimous. It's like going, huh, that is really different. I didn't even know that existed like that. No one else did either. Who knew if you threw a little mango in the salsa that it would actually be a beautiful thing? I would go, Latin Americans in Central America, they know, but that might not be the case in other areas. So why do I say this? Reveling in differences is a beautiful thing. And it just opens up a whole nother window of possibilities. And possibilities means progress, and progress equals happiness. It's so simple, doesn't it?
Yes, enjoy it even more.
Why not? You get to. You don't have to. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It really is a choice. And so many people are going, oh, but you don't know my life. You don't know all the stuff that's happened to me. And I go, wah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, that was mean. I said, you're throwing yourself a pity party. You're being a baby. You're not being a grown woman. You're not being a grown man. You're being someone who's judgmental in the moment, and you're judging yourself and making yourself feel worse about it. Where's your focus going? Your reticular activating system. It's like all the stuff that's driving you bananas. Just like you said, inflation, cost. I'm going, what if it was like, wow, I found the most amazing farmers market, and they grow organic foods, farm to table, and they're really affordable and they're delicious. But I have to go to this market. And I go, wait, you get to go to the market?
You get to.
You get to go and pick the fruits of, wait, what? Like, and it came out of the dirt to your mouth. Huh. I like that concept. That's different. And they're like, oh, you're kind of weird, aren't you? I said, a little. Because I like taking really complex things and making them simple.
Yeah, because if we stay in complex, then we never get it done, and we stay in in suffering mode. Versus, here we go. You're giving us a gift today by asking, how can we enjoy it even better?
Even more now. Like some people go, oh, I'll wait till later to enjoy it. Really?
Yeah. This reminds me of when Jesus blessed the bread, but before he blessed the bread, he gave thanks.
Yes.
So it was being grateful for where we are at right now.
An attitude of gratitude. And it's so simple, isn't it, Paola? Like why do we make things complex?
It is.
The brain loves to make things silly and complex.
Yeah.
And people go, what do you mean by silly? You will come up with stuff that sounds absolutely certifiably nuts about the future that hasn't even happened yet.
Yes.
However, it might happen. And so you're going to worry about the stuff that didn't happen by comparison to what's happening now, by comparison to what could happen in the future.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. And so why do I say that? Because you brought up something, and I love this concept, and I'd love to hear more about what's been motivating you, because that's what sparked this entire conversation. Can you share that with us?
Yes, yes. I was sharing with Chuck that in this past year, like we learned to evaluate what went well. When we finish a project, when we finish, like the school year. So in this case, I was analyzing how my Sunday school teaching went. What went well and what can be even better for next year. So what went well is the I found a virtue that I had no clue that existed, and that's magnanimous. So,
Mm.
magnanimous, the way I understand it, is God is inviting you to share your talents. And when you choose to share your talents, you're humble enough to say, glory to God. Everything you do, glory to God. But you get to experience your talents. And there is no shame because you sing beautiful. There is no shame because you share what you know. And there's no shame. You just, you give glory to God because you get to express it. And how many people out there don't do it because they're so shy? And anyway, so it's like it's just I'm still like learning so that I can share and invite people to tap into their magnanimous.
No, that's beautiful. I remember as I was sharing with you that the very definition of the word is very interesting. There's a loftiness of spirit, and the way that I remember hearing Father Horvath mention it to me was he said, when you're lofty in spirit and your belief is so high that it allows you to bear trouble calmly, with curiosity, with generosity. Isn't that amazing? And it really is enabling the mind and the heart to encompass, for lack of a better way of describing it, a refusal to be petty, and it increases your willingness to be able to face danger and take action in spite of anything because your faith is so strong. You don't question your integrity or where this message is coming from. It's magnanimous. Like you're like going, it's in me, with me, through me. And since it's flowing through me, it's me being one with my maker. It's me being one with my true sense of purpose. So I'd love to ask all your followers out there, do you consider yourself to be a loving, guided gift from God? Do you believe yourself to be a pawn in this world that is here just to be moved around and toyed with? Or do you believe that you have a full sense of purpose and you know who you are? And when you're being truly congruent and authentic and present, do you take action that fuels you and feeds others? Something to feel about. You've been doing enough thinking today.
Yes. Another thing that popped in my mind as you were sharing this is when you put your faith in God and not in people. Because that's one of my biggest lessons I learned this past year is learning to put my faith in God. Here we go. Like you said, sometimes we choose fear because we don't know what tomorrow will bring,
Right.
when we learn to say no, I'm going to have faith, and you choose to feel that faith regardless of who's going to show up or not.
It makes a huge difference. And there's another aspect to this too, which is, are you living in the space and grace of who you really are, or are you pretending? So there's this ideology, there's this mentality of progression in our lives. And it actually takes on 4 stages, Paola. So it's interesting because when you're a little baby, you fake it till you make it. You're like a rocket, you're on your tummy. And in fact, you're just looking up at the world, kicking hands and feet. Then you decide you're going to roll around your belly and you're like, I can arch my head up and I can actually get some mobility. Why? Oh, they're using those things called legs. How do they use those? So you start to face it as you make it. Now you're grabbing onto people's pant legs. You're grabbing onto coffee tables, anything you can get your little pudgy fingers on to help pull yourself up. Then you get to this place where you faith it as you make it. You're going, I've taken a couple steps, and my little baby belly wants to move me forward, because that big head is like, when it goes forward, all of a sudden you've got momentum, and it's like, now you're probably gonna fall. So you kind of vacillate between facing it or eating the carpet, and right, and faithing it as you make it, because even when you fall, but you get back up and you go till you are where you are today, where you don't even think about getting up, moving your body, and that's called believing as you achieve. So when we look at virtues, which having magnanimity in your life, which is literally means living magnanimously in this state of euphoria and connection with everything around us, those are virtues. And we're reminded that the good book tells us that virtues are always stated in the positive. No one goes, oh, you have bad virtues. It's like, then it wouldn't be a virtue. You're like, why are they always positive? Well, the universe conspired and said, if I made you in my likeness, God doesn't make junk. So there's nothing you could say or do that wouldn't be in the positive. There is one challenge, though, with this. People have choice. And choice means that we can choose to stack positively or stack negatively. Someone's like, what would be a positive stack? Oh, I went to mass and then had this great conversation. And then because of that, we ended up going to this barbecue and our families were hanging out and everyone was enjoying themselves. We had great food and great music and it was a sunny day. And it's like, oh my gosh, we closed our eyes for a moment. We said a prayer, we blessed the food, and then we just gorged ourselves on barbecue. It was amazing. I'm like, that's a lot of positive stacking. For someone else, I go, oh, I woke up and had a stomach ache. So I laid in bed, turned on a show, saw the news. It was depressing. So I decided to eat candied bacon and pancakes with tons of syrup. And now my stomach hurts even more. And I really don't want to get out of bed. In fact, I don't even feel like showering. I'm not going to work out. I told the kids, go play. Wait, what's that? Negative stacking, because it didn't get better. There was nothing positive about it. It's like you went down deeper and deeper into a hole. All of a sudden, you're going, whoa, wait a second. Are you down there? Because the day before, you were up here. How do we make these? Because where focus goes, energy flows. We can break the pattern. To your point, when we're living in this magnanimous state, people go, oh, and you can do this all the time. If you choose to.
Yeah.
And I'm going to remind you, you're a human. But of course, Paola, everybody loves surprises.
The good ones we do, right?
Like the surprises you like to get. The ones that aren't so popular, going, why me? I'm a good person. Is my karmic bank not full? And you're going, well, God never gives you more than you can handle. So maybe it was just an error or someone's misunderstanding that can be cleared up very easily. Do you have the faith to be present to do that? Do you have the fortitude and the strength? Do you have the magnanimity to live in that grace and that space so you actually feel full?
Yeah.
Just a question.
Yeah. Hey, at all times, be grateful, right? Be thankful. There is a reason why, because, what am I supposed to learn? What skill am I supposed to use today?
How do you need to feel? It's a question I ask myself every single morning. I ask myself, what are the 3 ways I need to feel most often today? Let's think about that for a moment. In fact, you don't even have to think about it. Just feel about it for a moment. If you felt joyous, if you felt present, you felt connected, And those were your three primary modalities that you believe you should feel that day. That filter, that reticular activating system, that focus, that everything's coming to you. Think of it like when your dog has gone to the vet and they get the cone of shame. They can only see what's in the cone. That's it. This is as far as they can go. And if they want to hear you, they got to turn. Right? So I said, if this is where you're turning, everything that you're trying to get rid of, eliminate, let go of, doesn't even come into your field of view. It doesn't mean it's not there. It just means that you have the magnanimity to actually live in that grace and that space. It's like, why do I know? Because I know that if I'm looking up to God, if I'm feeling his presence, if I'm feeling that adulation, that connection, that spirit, that energy, my sense of purpose, Beelzebub over here, who's trying to get his foot in the door, doesn't even have a chance.
No. Imagine the way, I mean, how people could parent, like how the family dynamic would look like, the relationship with the spouse would look like.
And yet, when a child is aggravated or frustrated or not feeling full, they kids say the darndest things. And sometimes they can say the one thing that you're like going, where did that come from? And you're like going, oh, no, you didn't. I mean, the neck gets going, the head gets, and you're like going, you need an exorcism. Because this is not working for me right this moment. And it's like, and is it about you or about them? Uh-oh. There he is. The neurostrategist pops up. Why? Because all of a sudden I'm like going, where's your focus? On how you're feeling? How must they be feeling if they're reacting that way? What is going on, or what's the misunderstanding or the disconnect where they're just not feeling full or whole or contributory or even kind?
Yeah.
That's something to feel about.
Yeah. They asked me that question yesterday. How do a kid that is really good, the first 15 years of his life, but then it comes to a point and then it turns bad, bad behavior.
Well, there's no such thing as bad behavior. That's a perception.
Okay.
No, I know people go, okay, wait, I'm gonna call you out on that, Chuck. Well, so let's test the theory.
Okay.
If someone starts cutting or drinking or vaping or smoking, I said their world is not being filled enough with love that they actually have self-respect. Otherwise, why would someone hurt themselves unless if they felt so low that that is the best standard for them? Because cutting is a cry for help. Vaping, that's biochemical. I can show them how to do a breathing exercise. They will walk out of the room going, okay, whoa, I am like in an altered state. Yeah. And all I did was breathe. Guess what? You've been autopilot with breathing since you came out of the womb. It is a primordial part of your existence. Why do you think they get addicted to vaping or smoking? Because they're filling their lungs, and chemicals that were made to be addictive are filling their neural receptors. So they're getting connected to the CBD if it's pot, or if it's nicotine, or the arsenic, or the acetone, or all the billion of other things that are connected in cigarette vapor. Pot's even worse. Vaping is even worse because it's water vapor that they're taking in. And so why do I go there? We only do things for two reasons: pain and pleasure. And here's where it gets a little bit on the crazy side, my friend. The pain side, or the perception of pleasure side, is all perception. So when I look cool, you look like a fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah.
And I'm going, yeah, how cool is that? I'm the bad boy. I'm the bad girl. It's like, oh, and that feels good? Huh. Why would you say you're the bad boy or the bad girl? Well, I'm not really bad. I just have a problem with authority. Yeah, you do, because you're not listening to yourself. And that's why you don't feel good. You're not listening to God. That's why you don't feel connected. The parents who love you, they may not understand you. And sometimes family can be too close. This is where I say, God bless counselors and people who do what we do. Like when you're able to help console and consult people. And it's not a, here's a nutty part, my friend, Paola. There are more people who are professionals that have a need to feel like they're right than they are to create care.
Oh, I love that.
Why?
I
Because
love
I'm a professional. I'm the one with 30 years of experience. I've been doing this since before you were a glimmer in your papa's eye. And it's like, oh, so I really don't count and you just want to fix me.
Yeah.
How good does that feel? Don't worry, I got you. We'll fix you. Wait, what? I'm not getting neutered. I'm not a puppy. You're not. Thank you. And then the other part is what? I'm broken. Oh, so you just affirmed it. See, I just thought I was nuts. Now you're telling me I'm certifiable.
Mm.
Hmm. It hurts my heart to hear conversations like that because no one's broken. And in fact, I don't believe in personal development. I don't. I believe in life enhancement. Your
That's interesting. Life
life is
enhancement.
already beautiful. It's already amazing. You know what's there to fix? It's like personal development. I'm going to develop myself so I can be a better human.
But you know what? Here you're giving us the 2 millimeters. The 2 millimeter shift you're just now giving us right now is like there is nothing to fix, but there are things to enhance. Like how can what has been so great so far, and how can we do it even better?
If you are an elite athlete, you're not going to keep doing the same thing expecting to perform better. You're looking for different. I need a different approach, a different vector, a different twist, a different highlight, a different something. And I go, ooh, and that's scintillating. In fact, that's exciting. It's like, oh, I'm looking for something different. Not like, yeah, I'm looking for the same old, same old. Because if you are, then all of a sudden it's like boring. Why? There's no energetic charge to it. See, here's the truth. I'm going to take something very complex and make it uber simple. Ready for this? There's no growth in comfort.
Oh, yes. I agree with that.
Never, ever, never, ever, never, ever. So when you are in a comfort zone, and I'm just going to give it to you all straight, it's normally right here, this space between your ears. Because when you go, oh yeah, I'm safe. I'm good. No saber-tooth tigers. 10 million-year-old monkey brain is not concerned. And I go, okay. When do you get concerned? Uh-oh, when someone moves my cheese. When someone like takes my car keys. Wait, what? When Find My iPhone's not working. Wait, what? No, I didn't hear the noise. I gotta find my iPhone. Why? Oh, because you're disconnected for a moment? Why don't you slow down and breathe and connect to the biggest source of energy that has the largest cell signal that you could ever tap into in your entire life, called you, your morality, your faith. This is like, okay, I'm picking up the bat phone. I'm calling the big guy. This is the hotline. When we slow down, it gives us a chance for our body, mind, and spirit. In fact, it's physiological. The vagus nerve in the body connects. And now body, mind, and spirit are integrated. When you're running like a crazy person, nothing gets resolved. So how many of you are sprinting and praying at the same time?
Yes.
Does it feel deeper when you slow down and genuflect and sit in the grass, commune with nature? Because as my wife would say, God in her infinite wisdom created this planet. God must have been part woman in order to create something so beautiful. And when you're earthing and you're actually connected with Mother Nature, you close your eyes and you can hear the birds chirping, you can feel the sun on your face, the breeze in your hair. You're near the beach, you can actually just smell the salt air. And then you give grace to God, the Holy Trinity, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. All of a sudden you're going,
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. TV on. Oh, problem fixed.
all good.
Interrupted our pattern, but yes, connecting with our, our Lord, our higher power.
Well, because you're connecting with self. See, one of the challenges that happens is that when we think everything's external, God's going to save me. No, God is conspiring to give you everything that you need. So I'm going to remind your listening audience that life is literally like Amazon. See, think back 10 years ago. Did you just click and buy and it showed up to your door? No, you freaking drove to a store. If there was a snowstorm, you'd go through it. You're like, why? Because we need milk and eggs. And we have to, it's like you would do what you need to do to feed the family. Now, some dude in an Amazon truck or a Walmart truck or a Target truck, they'll deliver it right to your door. In fact, you can just drive to the parking lot and they'll come out with a parka and all you can see is their eyes and go, thank you, Mrs. Guthrie. We have your order. You want me to put that in the back? And they'll load it for you. And you're like, thank you. As heat and steam comes flying out your window because you're sitting in a wonderfully heated car or air conditioned for that matter, because I know how hot it gets in Oklahoma as well. Same as crazy. So why do I go there? Here's the beautiful part about Spirit and God. When you ask the universe for anything, it delivers it. Here's the challenge, y'all. You ready? Because you have power of choice, right? You just have to decide. If you're not home to receive it, you don't get it. If you're not home to receive it, you don't get it. It goes to the next person who asked. It goes to your neighbor. It goes to a porch pirate. It goes to someone else who needs it more than you do. Because you asked for it, but you weren't home to receive it.
Interesting. That means we weren't ready?
Sometimes we get shiny penny. Sometimes we get sidetracked. Sometimes we ask and it wasn't a need, it was a want. And another want came into you at a deeper, higher level. So you ask for it instead. And you may or may not get that. Because if you're one of those people that just keeps going, I need it better. I need, wait, what? You didn't ask for what you need. You asked for what you wanted. Just got real. People are asking for wants all the time and they're not identifying their needs. See, when your needs are being met, Hill, at the highest level, your wants shift.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely.
If your need for your connection with your spouse is being met at the highest level, your wants shift. You're like, oh, I just want a date. Well, if your needs are already being met at the highest level, you're like, oh my gosh, I just want more time together. I just want to cuddle. I just want to watch a show together. I just want to decompress. Doesn't even say a word. I just want to escape for a weekend. Why? It's not because you want to leave the kids. It's because you're like, going, I'm so in love. So your wants change completely when your needs are being met at the highest level. But as you know this, there's some rules around this, how we meet our needs. And there's 5 essential needs. And they're kind of crazy because people are like, oh, wait, these don't sound really like out there. They're not. You need air, water, food, shelter, and love and connection. Those are the 5 essential needs. But how we meet these needs have some rules around them. Certainty, uncertainty, significance, love and connection, growth and contribution. The last 2 being spiritual. Now, why is this important? The only one that crosses over into both is love and connection. Why is that? Because we have a need to feel connected. We have a need to find the connection in energy and frequency. That's one of the reasons why when we're in prayer together in church, when we're singing hymns, the vibration of the music, the connection, these souls coming together, where 2 or more are gathered here, I am with you. Quote from the good book. Does that mean God's not with you when you're by yourself? Absolutely not, because you know he is, because you can feel him. You can feel him every time you place your hand on your heart, because that was a gift. Wow. So why do we make things so complex? I go, I don't know. That's a 3-year-old response, by the way. Because when you ask a 3-year-old, why'd you do that? I don't know. Why'd you drink the milk? I don't know. Why'd you eat the cookie? I don't know. Can I have another cookie? You go, wait a second. You were supposed to eat the first cookie. If I give it to you, you're going to eat it? I don't know. I said, I know. Because you. So part of this is that, can we give ourselves some grace? Can we give ourselves some space to actually slow down for a moment so we can actually gather our thoughts? Because if you're in a fog bank with a bunch of other cars and you see a bunch of red taillights going off, do you speed up? No, you slow down. Danger, Will Robinson. Your body's telling you, your spirit's telling you, your energy's telling you. And in fact, if you're really smart, you may pull over and turn your blinkers on. Why? Are you in such a rush to get through life that you're willing to risk an accident? But you may have enough magnanimity where you're not worried about it because you're like, I have faith. Jesus is at the wheel. I'm not even driving. This is that new Tesla. I don't have to. Wait, okay. And I'm going to remind you, you have a choice. Because if your whole family was in the car with you, would you do the same thing? And they go, oh, probably not. You go, oh, why? Well, I don't want anyone else to get hurt, but you don't care about yourself enough? That's confusing to me. Because if that's the way you're living your life, y'all, and you're out there going, well, Chuck, it's not that big a deal. And I go, well, then you probably want to put the oxygen mask on someone else first so that you can pass out. Because what does the stewardess say? What does the flight attendant say? In the case of emergency and rapid loss of cabin pressure, an oxygen mask will drop from the roof above you. Please go ahead and pull the oxygen mask, loosen the strap, and put it over your mouth first, your nose and mouth. Then put it on anyone else. But if you're already unconscious, now you become a liability for yourself and others. If you become unconscious in your spirituality, you will become a liability for those that you love the most.
Something to think about.
You brought up this very deep conversation, my girl. So
and I appreciate it so much. Let's go back to the 4 steps. But I think we only got one. When you said first, we fake it till we make it, and then we believe as we achieve. And
that's
what
at
would
the
be
end.
the third?
But in between is that you fake it till you make it. You face it as you make it. So you're facing it. You're actually on and aspiring So you're like
Okay.
going, I'm not going to give up. But this is where actually magnanimity comes into place because you don't know any better when you're a baby. See, you're
Yes.
born with magnanimity. You're born with it. You're born with this faith and trust. It's like, I don't care how many times I get rug burn. I don't care how many times the dog knocks me over. I don't care how many times I scuff my knees. I'm going to walk. And if you didn't have that faith, because that's the next step, you have faith that as you make it, you're like, oh, I'm getting there. I'm faith in it. Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
yes.
Because you're making progress. And if it's a millimeter or a mile, progress equals happiness.
Mhm.
What feeds this is like, ooh, wait a second. I've just been crawling up to this point. I'm walking now. And they go, walking? I found that if I lean forward, I get momentum. I'm running now. And you're like going, uh-oh, uh-oh. Junior's on. We're in trouble. Because now they hit level 4. They believe as they achieve. They're going, ha, 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 ha. I'm a track star. I'm going to swim. I'm going to jump. I am going to go ahead and knock things over. I'm going to slide down the stairs on my tummy. Oh, they're mobile. I don't know what to do with them. And it seems so simple. We all go through these. But if I may, I'm going to share you 3 very simple abbreviations for fear. Because this is what holds us back. The pain and pleasure principle. So the first level of fear is where we have a false expectation appearing real. FEAR, false expectation appearing real. And for some people, Paola, when they get triggered, they go, I'm going to freak everything and run. Like, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to just, nope, I'm out. Not even going to deal with it. So they freak everything and run. And then you get to magnanimity, where you faith everything and rise.
Yes.
See, when you're living in that space and that grace, it gives you the time to make those adjustments. It gives you that space and time to actually elevate and grow.
Yes. So today's show was for all of us, to be reminded of living in a magnanimous level because we're all capable. Uh, the art of living, it's so true. It's an art. It's asking ourselves in the morning, what are the 3 emotions that I want to experience today? How can I enjoy being a mom even more? How can I enjoy being a wife even more? It's like simple, beautiful questions that we can ask ourselves every single day to create this masterpiece, of our life. It is an art. I believe there's a science of achievement as well. But whenever that's the strategies does not go as you plan, here comes the grace, that allow you to continue to move forward.
Yes. When you don't have a need to always be right.
Yes.
Be present.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful way to live.
Yeah. I believe it. And I am so grateful that you are here with us today, to guide us, to inspire us on how to continue to develop this beautiful life. Like you were saying, life is enhanced. Like instead of like making it better, which you gave me a 2 millimeter shift tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. You allowed me to grow tonight. Instead of making it better, is like, how can I enjoy it even more? So.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Oh no, you're so welcome. It's like it's a blessing to have you always here. I always learn and you're always welcome. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our beautiful audience, everyone who was able to join tonight. Michael Cole, thank you so much for being here. So this show can also be heard on my YouTube channel, Paola Guthrie, or you can go to Spanglish World Network. Please check out SpanglishWorld.ca for news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Blessings, blessings, and we'll see you soon.